I have seen every single one of these fucking videos of police brutality. And some are missing the context, which at times is important and other times is unimportant to the situation, I like to think. But these are very, very, very high intensity fueled engagements right now between the cops and people. Imagine being 20 cops or 40 cops surrounded by 50,000 people. Your fear is through the fucking roof. You don't know which guy's got a gun, which guy's got a weapon. And so while I'm not excusing their actions, you have to feel for these cops right now who are out there trying to keep order in these really, really tricky situations. This one was tough for me. This one and the dude getting his head cracked by the cop with the baton who also got charged with aggravated assault
these cops
today.
Just clanging and banging now.
You got to take each situation as it comes. But like you've seen high fueled situations where you could almost give the cop a little bit of leeway on it. And then you've seen other ones where it's just cops driving by crowds of people standing there and spraying pepper spray at them as they drive by. Very different situations. And I think it's up to the audience and the cops themselves to say, yo, this one was okay. This one wasn't.
Bro, when I was protesting, I'm aware that like people are forgetting that cops are humans too.
It's horrible.
I would go up to some of the officers. I remember one particular, her last name was Munoz. Girl had to be probably 4'11", tiny.
Yeah.
And I'm just, this girl, helmet barely fits her, like oversized clothes. I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, how you doing, Munoz? You okay? And she kind of like looks at me. I'm like, everything good? You all right? Like, you know, it's hot. You're doing a good job. Like, appreciate you. And she just like nodded at me. And it was just interesting because like these are people too.
Absolutely,
just some of them
bro.
are fucking cunts.
Some are, and it's been a tricky situation. There's really no winner here. Like no matter what. That's why I've tried to be center of the road on a lot of stuff. There's a shit ton of good cops out there. There's a shit ton of really good people out there who are peacefully protesting, and all of this has led over the past week to kind of the main stage area of this, which is the new conversation around defunding the police.
It's just who's gonna. I know they're not all the time protecting us, but at the end of the day, like they are here to protect us.
Is it defunding entirely in this situation?
Yeah,
the budget from the city?
The call is not to defund as in like stop funding the police. Yeah. The call is to restructure and to systemically change the police force.
I agree with that.
Which makes sense. I get that. But the question is, what's going on in the meantime? I tweeted defunding the police is not the answer. That's like removing airbags from cars because they misfire 1% of the time. That part I now understand that it's not about removing the police, but we need to defund certain aspects, reappropriate to other aspects, and increase spending on vetting, training, and policing the cops. So to say defunding or to lower funding, it's too broad of a solve. And when you simply scream defund the police, that to the basic people out there, the people who are not fully ingrained in the conversation, they think stop funding the police altogether. In reality, it means reappropriating funds to problematic or urban neighborhoods. It means, I think, reducing some access to military tech and hardware, which costs millions and millions of dollars a year that they don't need armored personnel carriers or fucking Javelin rockets like the military has.
One interesting set of stats I saw was from the Columbus city budget, Columbus, Ohio, and I think it was $192 million was going to the police budget, while there was like $3 million to education. And, you know, everything else was just paling in comparison to.
So backwards. We're so backwards.
But $192 million. Where's it all going? What are they? I would love to see a breakdown of what's being spent.
I'd love more money to be spent on education. So many people underestimate how impactful a youth's education contributes to the rest of their life. Mm-hmm. I mean, we know this. Just like our fucking constitutional system that is outdated at its core, the education system is also outdated. It just kids are still learning the same way they learned centuries ago.
I think they're
sitting
getting
down in a
bored
classroom.
with it, man.
Tell you knowledge. I'm talking at you. I'm not talking to you. This isn't a conversation. I'm going to write something and say something, and I'm going to cross my fingers as a teacher that you absorb it. And there's a lot of good teachers out there, and you have to commend the ones who will go out of their way to make sure their students are really learning. Like we all have that one teacher, right?
Yeah.
Who pushed us a little harder and gave us their time and energy. And it's like you have the ammunition, you have the teachers who want to teach and grow their students, their pupils, but the system systemically is just fucked.
Yeah. It's hard to get the good teachers to go to undesirable places as well, you know?
That too.
I did some digging on budgets over the past couple of days just to better educate myself and better understand like where the money falls and estimates, because some of it are pulled from different years, but we spend around $70 billion a year on education in the United States. We spend $80 billion on incarceration in the United States. We spend $100 billion on police in the United States. And we spend $760 billion a year on defense military. Yeah. So it's like, you know, this is not news to anyone. I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know already. We as a country dramatically overspend on military and on defense, and it feels great to feel nice and warm, and like the Russians can't get us. But let me tell you, son, nobody's feeling that warm right now on the streets of New York or the streets of LA or the streets of Minneapolis. Because our internal and domestic systems have failed us. Yeah. And so like, wow, you can't hit our military bases in Iraq right now or Afghanistan because we have CRAM missile defense systems all around the perimeter of our bases, which I love that idea. But kids aren't learning. Cops aren't getting the training and the love they need from the budget, and everybody's locked up. We just house millions of people in our prison systems. We have massive, massive issues in the spending in this country.